Hello everyone and welcome. This is Dawn. I want to thank you for joining me for another tutorial. Today I'm going to be making a cute Valentine card with the Whimsy stamps Doggie Valentine Friends. This stamp is so adorable. It comes with 3 images and some really fun sentiments. I'm going to be pairing it up with the Whimsy stamps Speckled background red rubber stamp. So let's get started. I'm going to be using my Misty stamping tool to stamp the background. Since the rubber stamps are so thick, make sure to take out the foam insert first. Then I'm just going to place a piece of white cardstock in the middle of my Misty. I always put some removable tape down first so the paper doesn't move around. Then I place the stamp right over the cardstock, making sure to cover the entire paper. I stamp the image with some black ink. Next, I'm going to use a piece of pattern paper from the Slimline black and white dog print paper pack. I just cut a piece of paper down to approximately 2.5 inches high by 4.25 inches wide. And then I'm just going to tear the paper towards me so that a white trim is left on the top of the paper. Here I'm going to use the Whimsy Stamps Connected Heart frame, and I'm going to die cut 2 hearts, one from red cardstock and one from white cardstock. And then I'll just set them aside for later. Since I wasn't sure which image I wanted to use, I stamped out all 3 images onto a piece of white cardstock with a Copic friendly ink, and then I cut them out with my brother's Scan and Cut, but you could easily fussy cut these images out. Once I decided on which image I was going to use, I started to color him in. I used the C9 Cool Gray for his nose. I colored the tongue and the inside of his mouth with R11 Pale Cherry. And then I colored in his entire body with some C1, the Warm Gray. I used the C9 Cool Gray to make spots all over his body. I just randomly added them everywhere and left a solid circle kind of on his belly. And then I decided I wanted him to be a little bit darker, so I went back and I colored over the W1 Warm Gray with the W3 Warm Gray. Now I'm going to start to assemble my card. I start out by gluing the white heart to the back of the red heart. And then I adhere the dog print pattern paper to the bottom of the speckled background paper that we made. And then I adhere the red heart onto the speckled background. And I adhere the white heart into the center of the red outlined heart. I put foam tape on the back of the dog and I adhere him into the center of the heart. I decided to heat emboss my sentiments onto some black cardstock. So first I'm going to use my grid transparency that helps to make sure my sentiments are lined up straight. I wasn't sure what sentiments I wanted to use, so I just stamped a few out. Then I just close my Misty and I pull off the grid transparency, and then your sentiment should stamp straight. Next, I rub some embossing powder onto the black cardstock. And then I stamp the image with some Versamark ink, and then I cover all the sentiments with silver embossing powder, and when my heat tool is good and hot, I heat emboss the sentiments. I trim these sentiments down to the size that I want them, and I'll decide where to put them later because I just couldn't decide. So for now I'm just going to keep them off to the left. And finally I adhere some sequins onto the front of the card. And then I put foam tape on the back of the sentiment and I adhere them where I want them to go. To finish off the card, I adhere it to a piece of white cardstock that I cut to 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it at 4.25 inches. And that will complete my card for today. I want to thank you for joining me on the Whimsy Stamps YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed my card. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of it. We would love for you to subscribe to the Whimsy Stamps channel and their other social media platforms so you don't miss out on any upcoming releases and great inspirational videos. Also, check out their website for all their new releases. As always, thanks for stopping by and have yourself a wonderful day.